Okay, we're now on the record, time 2:02 p.m. Today's date, June 9th, 2023. This is the video deposition of Officer Chris Alford being taken in the case of Martinez Bowman versus David Harvey et al. Filed in U.S. District Court 322 CV 545 MMH MCR. My name is Jack LeBrant, videographer. Our court reporter is Ingrid Cox in association with Scribe Associates Court Reporters. We are at their offices, 121 Southeast Hernando Avenue, Lake City, Florida. At this time, counsel will state their appearances for the record, beginning with plaintiff.
Amy Hanna for the plaintiff, appearing live, and on this Zoom is Catherine Hausma, paralegal with our office.
And I'm Dawn Whitehurst. I'm an attorney with the Sniffen and Spellman Law Firm, and we represent the defendants. That's David Harvey and Jamie Godey.
Sir, if you would please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this call should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Officer Alford. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. I represent Martinez Bowman as a result of injuries that he sustained on October 23rd of 2020. Are you familiar with that incident at all?
Not really.
Okay.
I wasn't there.
Okay. Can you state your full name for the record?
Yes, ma'am. Christopher David Alford.
Okay. And are you currently employed with the Columbia County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is your position or role with Columbia County?
Deputy Sheriff.
Have you given a deposition before?
I have. Yes,
Okay. Let me go over a couple of ground rules before we begin. If you need a break, just say so. I ask that you let me finish my question and you respond before we do that.
Yes, ma'am.
The court reporter has to take down everything that we're saying today. So I ask that you let me finish my question before you give a response. Sometimes you may know what I'm asking and want to jump in and answer. But let's try to make her life easy and not talk over one another during the deposition. On that same token, head nods, ahas, try to give a verbal response, yes or no, so that she can make a clear record. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you said your position with Columbia County Sheriff's Office is Deputy Sheriff?
Deputy Sheriff on Patrol Division.
Okay. And how long have you been employed with Columbia County Sheriff's Office?
6 years.
Okay. And have you always been on the patrol division with Columbia County Sheriff's
No,
Office?
ma'am. I worked in School Resource Division, and I worked in the CID Division, which is the Detective Division.
And so 6 years, that puts us at 2017. Is that correct?
January 2017.
Okay. And when you started, were you in the School Resource Division?
Back in 2017?
Yes.
No, ma'am.
Okay. What position did you start?
Patrol Division.
Okay. And how long were you in the patrol division before you switched?
I would say almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
And following your initial 2 years on patrol, where did you go next?
School Resource.
Okay. And what did your duties entail in the School Resource Division?
Basically security. Stop any threats in a school if there are any.
And how long were you in that position?
I'd say a total of 2 years, 2 separate times though.
So did you switch from the School Resource Division back to patrol?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how long were you with the School Resource Division before you switched to patrol? The first time?
A year.
1 year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so when you're back in the patrol division, what were your duties within that role?
Just patrol, regular street patrol.
And how long were you patrolling before you switched to, what was the additional role you had?
Detective.
Detective.
That was another year. Sorry.
Okay. So I have 2 years on patrol initially, and then 2 years the School Resource Division with breaks in between. So I'm at I think 6 years. How long were you in the detective unit?
Like 6 months.
And what were your duties as a detective?
to investigate crimes, property crimes.
And why did you transfer from detective back to patrol?
So what happened, actually, I was a detective and I transferred to Baker County Sheriff's Office.
Okay.
And worked there because I live in McClenny. So I wanted to try to work in my hometown county at the time.
Okay. And when you transferred to Baker County, what position did you hold?
Patrol deputy, same.
And what year did you leave Columbia County to go to Baker County? Approximately.
2021.
And why did you leave Baker and come back to Columbia?
Because this is my home. This is where I'm from. And this is just where I was comfortable. I was not comfortable working at Baker County. I didn't know anybody.
Who's your supervisor in the patrol unit?
Currently,
Yes.
my direct supervisor,
Mhm.
Matt Douglas or Thomas Mansfield or corporals.
Matt Douglas or who? I'm sorry.
Thomas Mansfield.
Have you ever been subject to any disciplinary action with Baker County Sheriff's Office?
No, ma'am.
With Columbia County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and when was that?
That was back in like 2018, I believe, when I was newer.
Great, and tell me what happened.
So basically, I guess I committed like a HIPAA violation I didn't really realize I did. I wasn't familiar with HIPAA laws at that point. So that's all it was.
Okay, and so what was the ramification or the discipline as a result of that HIPAA violation?
Education, and I had to do a presentation to the sheriff's office, patrol units on HIPAA laws.
Is there a particular zone within Columbia County that you patrol?
No,
No.
ma'am. No, ma'am. We rotate.
Okay. Have you ever been a canine handler?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever been a canine trainer with Columbia County Sheriff's Office?
No, ma'am.
Ever held a supervisory position within Columbia County Sheriff's Office?
No, ma'am.
Where were you employed prior to Columbia County Sheriff's Office?
Department of Corrections.
And what did you do with the Department of Corrections?
I was a correction officer.
How long were you there?
5 years.
Have you communicated with David Harvey following this incident on October 23rd, 2020?
Yes.
Have you communicated with Harvey about this incident
No.
at any time?
No.
When you were employed, or strike that, have you ever worked with Canine Drago while employed with Columbia County?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, I've helped Harvey on shift. He does shift trainings with Drago, and I used to help him with some.
How many times or when did you assist Harvey with the canine training?
A few times. I can't really tell you a certain time. It was just on patrol days that we were working, or nights.
More than 5?
I probably wouldn't say more than 5. No.
How did you get assigned to assist Harvey with those canine trainings?
Object to the form. When I object, I'm objecting for the record, and you can still answer the question if you can.
Okay. No, I'm not assigned. He just asked if I'd help him.
Do you have to report to anyone within Columbia County Sheriff's Office, a supervisor or otherwise, that you're assisting a canine officer with trainings?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Let's talk about a day perhaps that you did assist Harvey with canine trainings with Drago, okay? So you go into work that day and your role or assignment is to patrol, correct?
Yes.
And patrol traffic, the streets?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So how do you come to stop patrolling traffic in the streets to assist a canine handler with training his dog? Tell me about that process. Do you report to anybody to tell them that you're doing that? Something different than what your job duties entail?
No. So when you're on patrol, you're not just patrolling 24/7.
Okay.
I mean, you are, but you're also you sit in different areas of the county. You're visible to the population. That's what you do. And if canine deputies need assistance with you trying to, let's say that they're training their dog to, I don't know what they're doing, but if they need your assistance, it's not uncommon to ask for assistance from other deputies.
Okay. And so you don't have to report to anybody within Columbia County Sheriff's Office that you're assisting another deputy with canine training?
No,
Okay.
it's called on the radio as far as I know. It's called out that we're doing canine training.
Okay. So you report to dispatch?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do with Harvey specifically in assisting him with those canine trainings?
Sometimes you would hide in a building, a door, a room, and the canine would track you.
Who is you? When you say sometimes you would hide in a room?
Deputy Alford. Me, Deputy Alford. Sometimes I would hide in a room, or I would do a trail. So basically what you do is you walk through the woods and I guess leave a scent, and the dog tracks it.
Okay. So it's not that you were assisting in training by just kind of watching the training. You were actively involved in the training with Drago.
Yes.
Okay. And so can you describe for me each time that you assisted with the training, what specifically you did? For instance, you just gave me 2 examples. Can you separate those out time by time to tell me specifically what you did?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So the first time you indicated you would put on a suit and go into a house?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So tell me about a training that you conducted with Drago and Harvey.
So I went in a closed room door, and he took the dog and trailed me and found the door where I was located in. But I never made contact with the dog. The door stayed closed the whole time.
Okay. And you didn't have to report to anybody within Columbia County Sheriff's Office that you were participating in this training activity?
Checked before.
Okay, tell me about another time that you assisted with trainings with Drago.
Like I said, I'll walk through some terrain and he does a trail. Like he trails it, he tracks it.
Who determines what specific training activity you do?
The canine handler.
I'm sorry?
Deputy Harvey, the canine handler.
Okay. And so another instance that you participated in training, you walked through the woods. How did he track your set? Tell me more.
Man, I'm not trained with a canine. I don't know.
But you were present and participated in the activity, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so tell me specifically the instance where you walked through the woods with Harvey and Drago from start to finish, what you guys did. I'm just trying to understand.
So Harvey has his canine in his car. I go walk through the woods and then I come back around. He takes Drago and tracks where I walk through with his nose.
Did he apprehend or bite you during any of those 2 training scenarios that we just discussed?
No.
Were there additional training scenarios that were identical to the 2 that we just discussed?
No.
Okay. Can you tell me about other training scenarios that you guys it together?
That's it.
Why did Harvey choose you to assist him with training Drago?
He doesn't. Oh, go ahead,
Object
go
to the
ahead.
form.
He doesn't just choose me. He asks whoever's available. Like if you're a deputy and you don't have calls, you're not busy, he'll ask somebody, whoever is free to help him. It's not just me.
Okay. How often did you strike that? Did you work with Harvey directly outside of just those canine training activities?
On shift, yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell me about that. How many times? Approximately.
I mean, we were on the same shift together, so we work patrol on our work days. I don't know how to put a time on that.
So approximately how long were you guys on the same shift working patrol together?
I'd probably say a total of 2 years.
Okay. So you guys had a close working relationship.
Object to the form.
You can answer.
Working relationship wise, yes.
Do you have a personal relationship with Mr. Harvey outside of work?
No, ma'am.
Did you hang out with his family or did your kids hang out?
We went to a Christmas party at another deputy's house one time. Yeah, so other than that, no.
How often, strike that. Within those 2 years that you were on the patrol shift, same shift with Mr. Harvey, was he a canine handler with Drago the entire time?
No, the first, I think like year, he wasn't.
So you were around and familiar with canine Drago for at least a year while you were on the same shift with Harvey?
Yes.
Okay. And so following that year that you guys were on the same patrol shift, did you still interact with Harvey and Canine Drago despite not being on the same patrol shift? It was a bad question, but if you get it.
I mean, I've run-ins, like talk to him, if that's what you mean.
I guess what I'm trying to understand is outside of you guys working that same shift, same hours, same time, same days, did you regularly interact with one another?
Text messages.
Work related?
Well, not always.
Can you tell me about Drago's health during your interactions or your time spent with them?
No.
Generally, how is Canine Drago's health?
I'm not a veterinarian, ma'am. I don't know.
Do you have any reason to believe that he was sick or unhealthy?
Object to the form.
You can
I
answer.
don't know. I'm not a veterinarian, no, ma'am. I don't.
Okay, but based on your interactions, your training, and essentially being around Harvey and Canine Drago for almost a year, day in and day out, was he a healthy dog?
Object to the form. Mischaracterization of the evidence.
You can answer.
Again, no, ma'am. I don't have a lot of training with canines. I don't know dogs like that. I don't know if he is considered a healthy dog. I don't know what healthy means.
Did he have any underlying health concerns that Harvey was concerned about?
I wouldn't know that.
Did Harvey express any health concerns to you about
No.
Drago? Okay, let me finish. I know this is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Can you tell me a little bit about Canine Drago's and Harvey's relationship?
No, ma'am. They're just a canine handler and a canine.
Okay. Did they have a close relationship? Did he have a close relationship with the dog?
Object to the form.
No, I don't know. Other than working relationship, I don't know.
Tell me about your relationship with Canine Drago.
I don't know Drago. I wasn't around him very often.
Did you have any type of relationship with the Canine Drago?
No.
Okay. So I want to go through some Facebook posts.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, and we'll mark this as plaintiffs, composite exhibit 1.
Thank you.
Is this your Facebook post? Are you Chris David?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that's your Facebook name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so describe for me what this post is saying.
Says a rest in peace to Canine Drago who passed away.
Okay. And what specifically does your post say?
Rest in peace, Drago. I'll never forget your bite.
Has Drago bitten you before?
He's nipped me.
And when was that?
It was like 6 years ago, 2000. He was new to the age. I don't know the exact time, but he was new. Harvey had just got him. He hadn't even gone through training yet.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last part you said.
He didn't even go to the Canine Academy or whatever that is that they go to.
Who was present when he nipped you?
David Harvey and Blaine Cruz.
And what were you guys doing?
We were sitting around
Where?
hanging out. I think it was by the Dollar General on 441 and 252B. If you know where that is, across from Columbia High School. I'm not sure if you're familiar or
Only time I
not.
come to Lake City, I come to this office. So
I got you.
here's what you're talking about.
Okay.
So what do you mean by sitting around Dollar General?
Sometimes you just hang out, like you'll sit around, hang out with people on your shift and talk, stuff like that. So.
And was Drago in Officer Harvey's patrol vehicle?
Yeah, he was, but then he got him out also.
Okay.
Let him go pee and all that.
Okay. And what happened when he bit you that day?
Object to the form.
So he didn't bite me, he nipped me. Like, so basically what happened was, I can't remember exactly, so I'm not gonna say exact, but we were talking, laughing, playing around, and then he come up, nipped my holster, and then I thought he was gonna bite my butt, but he didn't. So I kind of put my arm out, and then he just nipped my arm, and that's all it was.
Did Harvey have him on a leash when that occurred?
I can't remember.
Is it policy to have the canine on a leash
Object to the form.
when you remove them from when a handler removes them from the vehicle?
Object to the form.
I'm not familiar with canine policies, man.
Okay. And so as we sit here today, you can't recall whether or not Harvey had Canine Drago on the leash at the time this bite occurred?
No, no.
Object to the form.
It was like 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay. And so he attempted to bite your holster, is what you said?
Object to the form. His characterization of the testimony.
Explain to me, please. You initially said that he came at your holster.
No, I said he nipped it.
He nipped at your holster?
Mm.
Okay. And so after he nipped at your holster, then you indicated you moved away because you thought he was going to try to bite your butt?
I just thought he was going to bite my butt, so I stood still.
Okay. And did Harvey do anything to stop him from approaching you?
No.
Okay.
We were talking. I don't think he even realized that.
What arm did you put out to stop Drago?
My left arm.
Okay. And where on your left arm did he bite you?
Object to the form, mischaracterization of the testimony.
I don't know. I don't know exactly. You mean my forearm? There's my forearm.
Okay.
Somewhere in my forearm.
Did you seek medical treatment at all?
No, ma'am.
Did you report it to anybody at Columbia County Sheriff's Office?
No, ma'am.
And what position did Blaine Cruz hold at the time that this occurred?
He was my corporal, my
Okay.
immediate supervisor.
Okay. And so if a bite occurs by a canine within the sheriff's office, are you required to report that
Object
to a
the form.
supervisor? If you could just let me finish the question before.
I thought you
object.
were finished, but object to the form.
Okay, so I'm not. I don't know canine policy, so I don't know if that's their policy or not. If you are injured on duty, you are required to report. However, I was not injured at all.
Okay. But you were bit by the canine
No,
Drago.
ma'am.
Object to the form, mischaracterization of the testimony.
Sorry.
What is the difference between a nip and a bite to you?
And I would say barely. He'd come up and put his mouth on me and let go.
So his mouth is still wrapped around a body part of yours, correct?
I wouldn't say it wrapped around. No, I wouldn't describe it like that.
And the canine is using his teeth to attempt to bite you.
Object to the form.
He nipped me. He didn't bite me.
Okay, but my question is, in a nip, and what you're calling a nip, is the canine still using his teeth on a body part of yours?
Objection, you asked that question already.
It wasn't the same. Phil, you can answer.
Again, he nipped me using his mouth.
Okay, and so his teeth make contact with your body part.
Yes.
Okay. This Facebook post says, "I'll never forget your bite." Do you agree?
Yes.
What is it about Drago's bite that was so memorable to you? You can't look to your counsel for.
Well, first of all, I'm not his counsel.
Okay.
So, but he was looking to see if I needed to object.
I thought she was about to. Sorry.
Right. And I will object mischaracterization of the testimony.
You can answer the
Okay.
question.
So this has no meaning to it. It's just I'm just literally just paying tribute to the dog. That's all it is.
Okay. And so what did you mean by the words, "I'll never forget your bite"?
Again, I'm just paying tribute. I didn't have any meaning to it.
How many times did Drago bite you?
Object to the
He didn't
form.
bite me
How many times did Drago nip you? If it was-
once.
Okay. How many times did Drago mouth hug you?
Object to the form.
I wouldn't say that. That's not my words. Mouth hug. So,
Okay, you used the word mouth hug earlier in testifying. Ms. Carson, if you could please
Oh, well,
stop
first of all, my
shaking.
name is not Miss Carson, so I'm not sure who
Okay,
you're
Ms.
talking
Whitehurst,
to.
if you could please stop shaking your head no every time I ask the witness a question. I
I'm
would
not
appreciate
shaking
it.
my head every time, no,
Okay.
so you need to stop mischaracterizing what you think you see,
Okay.
okay?
Has Drago ever mouth hugged you?
no, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not say he did.
What happened following this, we'll use your words, nip that occurred in the Dollar General parking lot? After he nipped you,
Yes,
what
ma'am.
what happened next?
Nothing. Just went on about my day.
Okay. Did you go back to patrolling?
Yes, ma'am. I wasn't injured.
Do you know what prompted Drago that day to approach you that way?
No, ma'am.
You said you guys were playing around. What did you mean by that?
I honestly, I don't know. 6 years ago, I can't remember what we were doing.
So if you turn the page to that,
Yes, ma'am.
there's comments on this post. And I want to direct your attention to Blaine Cruz's comment, where he says, "We'll never forget when he got you." And you replied, "Blaine Cruz, I sure won't. LOL, I got scars."
Yes, ma'am.
What did you mean by that?
It was joking. It was banter.
Okay. What did you mean? What joking about what?
I was just joking about the situation
About what situation?
when he nipped me.
Okay. And so do you have scars from when he nipped you?
No, ma'am.
So when you say I got scars, what did you mean by I got scars? Physical scars? Emotional scars?
No, ma'am. I didn't mean any of that. It was a joke. I was just joking.
Did you report that incident to anybody within Columbia County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, ma'am. My immediate supervisor was on scene.
Okay. So what did Blaine Cruz write up a report or issue a report?
No, ma'am.
As the victim of a bite or a nip, are you required to fill out a report?
Objection.
I don't see myself as a victim now.
Okay, but as somebody that is bit or nipped by a canine, are you required to write up a report or to sign a report explaining what happened?
Not that I'm aware of. No, ma'am.
And so are you aware whether or not any type of report was done in relation to this incident?
No, ma'am. I'm not.
Okay, so I want to direct your attention to the next page.
Yes, ma'am.
A comment by Blaine Cruz, Chris David looked like he was on Jurassic Park hiding from a T-Rex. Do you know what Mr. Cruz is referring to in that comment?
Objection.
No, ma'am. You'd have to ask Blaine Cruz.
The next comment by David Harvey, Chris David, my God, that boy kept me stressed out. Do you know who Mr. Harvey was referring to?
Objection.
No, ma'am. You'd have to ask David Harvey that.
What was so funny about this situation to you?
I don't know. It was really just reminiscing on memories.
But you indicate that you're joking throughout these comments, correct?
I would say there's laughing emojis in there that should indicate that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so what was so funny about a canine biting you or nipping you?
Again, it was the memory. It wasn't the bite.
So the memory of the dog biting you is funny?
Object to the form is characterization of the testimony.
Is the memory of the dog biting you funny?
No,
Object to the form.
no.
But you're laughing about it in this Facebook post with David Harvey and Blaine Cruz.
I'm talking to people and laughing about what they said.
Do you know what the canine deployment log is?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever seen a canine deployment log?
No, ma'am.
Do you know what type of form or paperwork is completed when a canine bites any individual?
No, ma'am.
Are you aware of other instances where canine Drago has bitten people within the Columbia County Sheriff's Office?
Oh, what do you mean, like suspects or like?
No, not in relation to a call out, but specifically in relation to training with other officers or any other circumstances where you're just hanging out, chilling in a parking lot. Are you aware of any other instances where canine Drago has bitten an officer with Columbia County Sheriff's Office
No, ma'am.
or nipped?
No, ma'am.
Do you know who oversees the canine teams at Columbia County Sheriff's Office?
Honestly, I'm not sure who it is now.
And was Harvey's direct supervisor Chris Harrison or Randall Harrison?
Yes.
And so did he oversee Harvey and canine Drago on a daily basis?
Jackie Ford.
I'm not sure.
I may have already asked you this. Have you discussed the incident with Harvey Drago and Mr. Bowman with anybody?
No, ma'am.
Who's Adam Dees? DEAS.
I don't know.
Did you remove this Rest in Peace Drago post from your Facebook?
If you read right here, it says temporary, so it does it automatically after a set amount of time.
And so this post and these comments no longer remain on your Facebook profile.
I'm not sure.
We'll mark this as plaintiff's exhibit 2. And I want to turn your page. Well, first of all, let me see if you recognize this document. Have you seen this canine or Columbia County Sheriff's Office canine teams kind of rules and policies?
No, ma'am. I'll focus on that.
Have you ever seen this document?
Yes,
You have.
I've seen it. We look at all our orders, but I'm not familiar with it. No, ma'am.
Okay, so I want to direct your attention to page 11. Number 15, post-bite guidelines.
Okay.
Says whenever a canine bites any person, the following procedures shall be followed.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Where?
Page 11.
Page 11. I apologize. I've seen 11 and stopped. All right, page 11. All right, 15. Gotcha.
And you see the bold post-bite guidelines.
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever a canine bites any person, the following procedures shall be followed. A, the handler shall ensure that proper medical attention is immediately administered to anyone bitten or injured by their canine and shall notify the canine supervisor and on-duty patrol supervisor.
Yes, ma'am.
So at the time that Drago bit you, Harvey was the canine handler, correct?
Object to the form, mischaracterization of his testimony.
Okay, good. When the canine nipped me, yes, David Harvey was the canine handler.
Okay. And so did Harvey notify his canine supervisor?
I'm not aware of that. I don't know.
Do you know who his canine supervisor was at the
No,
time?
ma'am.
Paragraph B, the watch commander shall respond to all canine apprehensions. The watch commander shall initiate an SCIR when a canine bite occurs. What is an SCIR?
I can't remember what it stands for, but it's basically a report for like a major incident that occurs. They'd send it out to all the admin and stuff like that, all the higher ups of the administration to make them aware.
Okay. And did you complete one of these forms
No,
following your bite?
sorry.
Object to the
Nip.
form, mischaracterization.
No, ma'am, I don't do that.
Did you fill out or sign one of these forms?
No, ma'am.
Are you aware? We'll go through them. B1B, the canine supervisor shall review the SCIR to determine if the incident was justified and in accordance with Chapter 776 Florida statute. Do you know if that was done in your incident?
No, ma'am, you'd have to ask Blaine Cruz.
So was Blaine Cruz your direct supervisor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so was he also the canine supervisor?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So why would Blaine Cruz review the SCIR report?
So if I'm not mistaken, it says the watch commander shall initiate a SEER when a canine bite occurs. The watch commander is not the canine supervisor.
Okay, so if we're looking at B1,
Okay.
the canine supervisor shall review the SCIR to determine if the incident was justified.
Yes, ma'am. It says the canine supervisor shall review the SEER. The SEER the SEER would be done by supervisor, watch commander, which is not the canine supervisor. Blaine Cruz was the supervisor that day. Blaine Cruz, if he didn't or did, that's his decision, and I don't know why he didn't.
It's my understanding that Blaine Cruz was your direct supervisor that day.
Mine and David Harvey's. Yes.
Okay, so Blaine Cruz was David Harvey's supervisor.
Yes, ma'am.
Was he specifically David Harvey's canine supervisor?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so what is the difference between the canine supervisor and the supervisor? Help me understand.
Yes, ma'am. So supervisors, Blaine Cruz is not trained in canine as far as I'm aware. Also, he does supervision over patrol. So you have supervisors over patrol division.
Okay, and this specific document indicates the canine supervisor. So is there a difference in a direct supervisor, which would be Blaine Cruz, and a canine supervisor, or are they the same person?
No, man, that's different.
Okay. And so is it still your testimony that you would defer to Blaine Cruz as to his review of this SCIR?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Why?
not. Sorry, I didn't realize you. It's not up to me to do the SEER.
Correct.
It's up to my supervisor to do the SEER. My supervisor is Blaine Cruz. He would do the SEER. The canine supervisor would then review that, if I'm not mistaken, on what I'm reading right here.
Okay, I'm with you now.
Okay.
So B2, the SEER, as you call it, SCIR, with the attached applicable offense incident reports, was there an offense incident report done in your case?
No, ma'am.
And any available medical documentation shall be forwarded to the division commander via the chain of command to be reviewed. Was that done following your incident?
Not that I'm
with
aware.
Traeger?
No, ma'am.
There were B3. The reviewed information shall be forwarded to the chief deputy within 72 hours. Was that done in your incident with Canine Drago?
No, ma'am.
C, all injuries shall be examined by the canine handler and the watch commander. Did you have any injuries as a result of
No,
your
ma'am.
incident with Canine Drago?
No, ma'am.
Did the watch commander or anybody take any photographs of your forearm following your incident with Canine Drago?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Does this policy allow officers or supervisors within Columbia County Sheriff's Office to decide which bites or nips from a canine they're to report?
I'm not sure.
If we can take a 5-minute break so I can check my notes and my paperwork, I think I'm almost done.
Yes, ma'am.
Time going on the record, 2:49. You need to get up, officer, take your mic off.
Yes, ma'am. How are you, sir?
Time back on the record, 2:53.
Officer Alford, we were talking about the Columbia County Sheriff's Office General Order regarding post-bite procedures. I'm going to take this from you, Madam Court Reporter. And I want to direct your attention back to page 11, the post-bite guidelines. Do you agree with me that these rules were not enforced by the Columbia County Sheriff's Office as it pertains to your incident with Canine Drago?
Object to the form.
No,
You don't agree with me?
I do not.
So is your testimony today that these rules were enforced as it pertained to your incident with Canine Drago?
No, ma'am, I don't. I think it says whenever canine bite occurs, I don't characterize that as a bite. I characterize it as a nip. I was not injured. I went back on my daily duties.
In your opinion, what is the difference between a nip and a bite?
So to me, it would be I would have injuries that the teeth would puncture or they would cut me. So
Okay, and so that's how you would describe a bite?
yes,
Okay, and how would you describe a nip?
more like a playful, like he hit me with his teeth. I don't know how to explain exactly, but basically the front of his teeth hit my arm.
Okay. I want to go back to the training exercises that you did with Mr. Harvey and Canine Drago.
Yes, ma'am.
Did Harvey have to complete any training reports or report those exercises to somebody within Columbia County Sheriff's Office?
I'm not sure.
Did you ever fill out any training reports or sign off on any training reports as it pertains to your involvement with Drago in training?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I don't have any other questions for you, Officer Alford.
And I don't have any forms. Thank you.
Okay, this concludes the deposition. Time going up the record, 2:56.